Hey everybody, I know you guys just voted for Dragon Ball to not be on stream anymore. I might toy around a little bit with it tomorrow. We'll see. I'm excited that I'll be able to compete properly again. But personally, at least from my initial looks at what happened, what got changed with my team specifically, I think my team has taken a pretty major blow from a viability standpoint. But we'll move. I really like the characters on my team, so I'm just gonna play my team regardless, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm gonna go over all the patch change notes, give you guys my thoughts, so that it's a little easier. So that if people want to just ask me about my opinions, I can just shit that shit out. I can just say it. So we have the system changes. I don't like this. But it at least makes it more consistent, because I would try to 2H a lot, because sometimes jumping attacks would miss, but now it's much harder for jumping attacks to miss on crouching opponents after sparking super dash. So it just means we're going to go back to blocking him consistently. That's how that's going to be. They buffed super dash during spark so that it doesn't launch anymore, which is pretty interesting. That guard cancel can only be performed with a diagonal input. I don't really know if that'll make that... Oh, it doesn't make it less likely to perform it unintentionally. Okay. Alright. Fix an issue in which odd behavior will occur when performing a super attack. Adjusted to unify behavior. I hope this doesn't nerf... Well, actually, I was about to say, I hope it doesn't nerf the fact that with S Broly, I can wait for a really long time and then side switch. But that probably won't matter anymore. Unfortunately. Okay, let's do Super Saiyan Goku. So, standing unique attack, adjusted blowback of the final hit, and added a wall bounce effect. That's pretty neat. Increased untechable time of the final hit. Alright. Not a big deal, just makes his combos a little more unique with that, I guess. Goku Super Saiyan Goku does a shit ton of damage, so I'd like to see how this gets used. They also increased his super damage, so this boy's gonna be hitting even harder. Added invincibility to jumping attacks partway through the motion. Okay, so he's got a bit of an anti-air option on the medium version. Increased clash level. Increased block zone on Dragon Strike. This might make this plus, because they slowed the medium version startup up. So that might make the move plus. Which would actually, I think, be pretty good for Super Saiyan Goku. He kind of needs... I feel like he needs something like that, so I think that's a solid change. Super Dash can... Okay, so they're making this right now so that instead of the up-angled stuff, the straight-angled stuff is, the way that is. Super Saiyan Vegeta. Standing light attack, they reduced the recovery on this, which is nice. Reduced recovery on a lot of his moves. I wish this was S Broly's patch changes. They increased his heavy attack, sped up consecutive energy bonus, sped up interceptor kick. That's just J2O, I think. And then super dash kick. Increased the damage, reduced the recovery, so you probably get some better combos on this narrator. And adjusted the blowback on hit during the camera effect increase. Okay, so this will probably change depending on... This is like the change of where your heavy super dash kick. Like you'll always get a combo now. I think it's the intention. You'll always get a combo off this now. Piccolo increased the knockback on 5LL. Jumping attack can be jump cancelled now. That's nice. Added invincibility to jumping attacks partway through the motion of Demon Shocker. I think that's the upwards antenna beam. And Demon Slicer sped up the medium Demon Slicer. Okay. Teen Gohan. Piccolo's changes, he's not really that much different. I don't think he's going to change very much. Teen Gohan, increased distance during the attack. Increased distance move during the attack. Okay, so that... We might see how this turns out, because we don't know if this is going to be another Vegetto situation with Teen Gohan. Standing heavy attack, increase the distance moved during, whatever. 5H increased movement, I don't really care that much about. Sped up 2S, his little key bomb. That'll be interesting. Super Dragon, flight heavy, increase attack wheel time when there's no camera effect. I think that's his, not his air kicks, but his ground kicks, where it's his lariat. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then he sped up his supers. It depends, in my opinion, it depends on how this distance move is. How strong that is. Super Dragon Fight. That I don't think that'll be a big deal. He might get better combos with that, but I don't think it's gonna be too big of a problem. Freeza. Sped up 2H, sped up 5H. They're really making the heavies faster. Sped up the attack startup for his eye beams. Interesting. A different angle crouching can now be performed in Z combos. Okay, so they made a new eye beams for him to use. Jumping unique attack. Sped up the... Okay, so they sped up and buffed the damage of JS more. Death Slash has reduced recovery. Reduced recovery on the capture ball. They increased the damage of his OTG even more. Unfortunately, I don't really think Frieza's problems were fixed this patch, and that's kind of how I've been looking at a lot of the weaker characters in this patch. A lot of the weaker characters are kind of getting nothing changes. Like, they're decent, but they're not super strong. Okay, Ginyu can now cancel into a standing light attack, so he can, I think he can do 4 LL now. Added a vacuum effect on block, so it pulls you towards him. Invincibility to low attacks partway through the motion of the attack. They keep buffing this 5H. It's a low, now it's invincible to lows. Like, what the fuck is with this move? Invincibility to key blasts from partway through the motion to the end of the motion during his Ginyu call. That's interesting. Also, Goldo and Raccoon deflect key blasts. Now that's a big buff. That's a really, really, really strong buff. Now deflects key blast partway through the motion of the attack. Okay. So Ginyu, that's actually a really significant buff for Ginyu because he can now call a little more liberally. He doesn't have to, like, you know, part of his problem was that what am I saying here? Part of his problem is against characters that could, like, throw out a lot of key blasts, he had a hard time setting up at all. So, like, Majin 21. But now, he'll be able to set up more liberally against characters like that. It fixes a lot of his bad matchups. Well, I shouldn't say fixes. It helps a lot of his bad matchups. Alright. Trunks. More distance on the medium. On his 2M. It's probably an anti-reflect now. Not like he really needs it, but okay. Actually, no, he needs it. Shiny Slash. It's faster now, overall. Adjusted the air move during the mid-air version. I wonder if they did this so that you can use it to end combos now. Basically give guaranteed sliding without him having to spend a ridiculous amount of meter. That would be nice. Adjusted trajectory and move during medium flips and cycle attack. Increased attackable time. I gotta double check that. I'm not sure what his Cyclone Buster is. Cyclone Buster. That. Okay. Change the hit effect. Interesting. Still, though, he didn't get, like, a bunch of changes he needed. Like, part of the issue Trunks had is that he couldn't really do his 50-50 because he had to spend, like, 5 bars for it. And then, what am I saying here? And then, but Change the Future, right? Change the Future has so little hits that it's hard for him to hit confirm off that. If it's not a smash hit, so. kind of unfortunate. So, his light attack moves him 4 now. That might be a bad thing. Might. It depends on... Might be like an S. Broly situation, an S. Broly's 2L situation, where, like, it's either really good or it really sucks, but I'm not gonna wipe it off the map. I'm not gonna say it's a horrible change. Could be useful in some ways and hurtful in other ways. Light Rolling Crush. Sped up the mid-airs version and reduce the mid-airs version damage. And increase the damage scaling for the mid-air version. So, a little faster, but a little weaker. Not too bad. Rolling Crush. Heavy. Sped up the final hit start up to... Wow, so that 50-50 in the corners could be even... That's going to be even more dangerous. And it moves Cell forward. And the Kamehameha buff. Reduce knockback on block for Android 18. Cell, I don't think really changed that much. I don't think he changed that much. There's a lot of... That's how it kind of feels so far about a lot of characters. They haven't really like, changed much. Ginyu had a lot of really important changes. A lot of other characters, I don't think they're going to be changing, like, an incredible amount. We have to see how far some of these extended movements go on, like, Trunks and Gohan to, but we'll see. Android 18. Reduce knockback on block. Oh, okay, maybe that might help her mix some. Increase distance move during the attack for standing medium. That move already hits round start, I think, so that's going to become a significant, like, that's going to become a good neutral tool for her. Destructo Disc is faster now. And support attack, sped up the mid-air version, start up with the opponent isn't hit stun. Okay, so it makes it easier for combos. Spawn position of the mid-air version now changes when the opponent is in hit stun. Okay, yeah, it is just easier combo tool now. Not bad. Not bad. Part of Android 18's problem was that she did not have strong approaches, so maybe this medium change will make her approaches a little better. And so same with the Destructo Disc. So they buffed her offensive neutral bit, which is, I would say, decent enough changes. We might see her a little more, and she might be a little stronger now. Gotenks. Sped up his 5LL, reduced the recovery on his 5M. Can now super dash after his thingamajigger for those of you that just did double take. Very special rolling kick. Increase distance move during, I think that's the top of the Beyblade spin. And increase the recovery on, wow, increase the Ghost Oki recovery. That's big. That's a big nerf. You might have to use 2 ghosts now to get decent Oki. That's unfortunate for Gotenks players. It's probably going to knock him down a peg. Heavy after mid-image. Ground version now moves behind the opponent. Increase distance move during the ground version attack. And increase recovery when following up from the grounded version. Adjusted distance move when falling. Okay, that's a lot. So now I guess Krillin has a free cross-up. Insofar as I know, you can 2H... You can 2H, but I don't know. If he could still go into grounded moves when behind, that's going to make for, like, some really nasty cross-ups where he does, like, the EX version, and then he does 2M, and you get fucked. Reduce recovery on heavy Sensu Bean and typical Super Dash stuff. This actually does matter a good bit for him because Kamehameha is so central to Krillin's zoning. So yeah, his mix, I feel, got buffed. His scrambles got buffed. And Kamehameha is a little, that is even stronger. So that's pretty good for Krillin. He won't be that much different, but pretty good for Krillin in the parts where it counts. Alright, Kid Buu. Standing unique attack can now be cancelled into standing medium. Ooh, you can reverse beat a shit ton of his Ki Blast into standing medium now. That's interesting. I wonder what that'll do. That'll probably do a lot for his neutral and his combos. That's cool. Add invincibility to jumping attacks at the beginning of the attack. That should have been how it's always is. He just has an anti-air grab now, not a big deal. And then he can super dash after his Kamehameha. Okay. I mean, overall, I think these are cool changes for Kid Buu. I don't know how they're gonna play out practically, but I would say they're pretty strong. Personally, that's just my first impression. Like, you imagine, you know, you get, you have Kid Buus. A lot of Kid Buus like to do 2S round start. They can just do 2S JM now. Now you can reflect that if you were. You can reflect that if you ground blocked. But he can also just wait. He can wait for you to reflect to bait it, or he can, or you know, if you were jumping, then you have to hold that. So they buffed his pressure. They made it even stronger, which is pretty. Oh, I'm sorry. No, in a Z combo, on pressure. Oh, I'm dumb. I mean, still, that makes his combos pretty cool, at least. Sorry, I was thinking he could just always do that now. Alrighty, let me actually read. Sped up his mediums. Added invincibility to jumping attacks partway through the motion of the grounded version. So that's anti-air now. His butt slam is anti-air. His heavy butt slam is probably frame 1 in Vuln now. And cartwheel sped up the grounded version startup. Not bad. Jumping attack. Increase the active frames. Majin Buu. I don't think anything much changed about Majin Buu. Nappa. Increased blocks when fully charged. So he might be plus after that now. You don't want Nappa to be plus. Spit up the attack star of a Blazing Storm. I think that's his level 1, so not bad. Android 16. I don't see any meter gain buffs here, so whoops. Increased distance move during his 5L and 5LL, so those might be some pretty significant. Those will be even better buttons. Those are already actually really strong buttons. Reduce recovery, so now he's going to be better at that part of this. Reduce gravity after the attack. Probably going to hit them higher with his crouching heavy attack. Sped up the attack startup for his dive kick. Adjusted distance move before the attack when the opponent's in the block stun. Sped up the attack startup. And hell heat. Okay. Reduce recovery. Alright. So his Ki Blast effect. I mean, these are actually pretty decent changes. Reduce recovery. So that his grab game. Excuse me. I just woke up. Reduce recovery so his grab game is a little better. His dive kick is faster, so it might be easier to use in combos. Reduced gravity after the attack. I just think that seems like it's going to hit them up higher. And then his light's got some decent buffs, so it's going to be harder to wiggle out of his pressure. So pretty decent stuff for 16. Yamchump can now cancel into a standing, so he can do 4LL. Can now cancel into a jump, into a down heavy attack and a Z combo. So what, he could do that twice now? Reduce knockback on block. Alright. Well, can I cancel into it? So it's a heavy and unique attack and a Z combo after landing. So they buffed his combos. That seems pretty good. Increase the opponent's hit stop on hit. Adjusted distance move to increase untouchable time. Okay. Can now be performed up to 2 times. So they buffed his Rekkas. So he can use more shit. He can use his Kamehameha now, so you know, his stuff's actually not that bad. And Neo Wolf at his level 3, whatever. But this seems like some decent buffs to his combos and pressures. We'll see how this works out. He might do some decent damage now. He might do decent damage, and his pressure might be a lot harder to read than before. So that's pretty good, I think. Tenshinhan, crouching medium attack. Reduce recovery, okay. Reduce recovery on heavy attack. Heavy crane strike, change distance moved on blocks. Sped up the mid-air version, start up when the opponent is in hit stun, and adjusted distance moved during the mid-air version of the attack. That's pretty good, except that change might hurt his little sparking 50-50. Because this is just, it doesn't say during hit stun, it's just adjusted the mid-air version distance. So he might not have his little sparking, like, guess 2M or crane strike heavy and die anymore. Pretty unfortunate if that's the case. If not, so it goes. Telekinesis sped up the attack startup like other special moves. It can now perform other normal attacks. Or be performed from normal attacks. I think that's fine. I don't know why. I didn't know you couldn't do that before. That's whack. Alright. Well, decent buff for Tien, but not really much is changing for him. That's how it is. Okay, adult Gohan. Wow, this guy got a lot. This guy got a lot. Increased distance move during the attack of his standing light. Sped up the attack starter for his crouching for 2L. I don't know how the increased distance for 5L is going to be. We'll see. I guess it's to help, like, after you do 2L and you're pushed out a bit, it's easier to go back into 5L. Makes his pressure a little stronger. Jumping light attack increased active frames. Better air to air. Standing medium. Okay, yeah, his standing medium is probably going to be a strong ass button. Now you're probably a lot of these characters are getting bigger and bigger buttons. Crouching unique attack. Sped up the attack startup, so it's probably going to be an anti-reflect because it already goes pretty far. Jumping. Adjusted distance moved and changed trajectory, reduced recovery, but then sped up the start. They made that a lot better for neutral. A heavy attack, unique attack, or super attack can now be performed after a landing. Oh, right, his fast fall. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting. So that means you could maybe do, like, super dash into a bunch of shit. Hit them down with a non-smash JH, land, and then go into an attack. That could be interesting. The light version of Jet Uppercut. Sped up the attacks. Startup after potential unleashed. Increased untuckable time after potential unleashed. Adjusted distance moved during the attack after potential unleashed. And reduced recovery after potential unleashed. So buffed a lot when he has a level. And holding the button no longer slows down the start, so you can actually just call him in and just rip that level 7. Alright, hit. Reduce recovery on light attack, I don't know why. Sped up his heavy attack, I don't know why. Vital point attack. Reduce recovery when canceling the stance. So they made that even faster. Tides of time reducing. Oh my god, they just made him. They just buffed him. It was only buffs. This character didn't need it. Didn't need it. I'm suffering. I'm suffering. Tides of time, deadly intent. Yeah, it's just overall reduced recovery. I mean, he's just going to be even harder to escape from. He's not that much different. He's just going to be more difficult to escape from. I don't know why they would reduce the recovery from when he cancels his stance. I guess to make it more like Jiren light counter, like you gotta mash, but I don't know. We'll see. Blue Goku. Increased distance move during his 5LL. Distance can now be changed with a back input on his medium attack, so he can have his old 2M and he can have his new 2M all in one. Standing heavy attack, distance move can now be changed with a back input. Okay, so all of these can now be changed with back inputs. That's kind of always been his thing. He had the 4M, which was his different 5M, so now he has all these different things. And knockback is now changed with a block with a back input. That's interesting. Reduced recovery for the grounded version on whiff of his elbow, which means that I probably can't backdash OTG anymore. Which makes that round start that he has even stronger and nullifies my whole labbing session around it. That's great. That's fantastic. And reduce recovery on whiff of Dragon Flash Kick. So, much like the other blues of the current patch, they basically just made him so he can just be even more scrambly. And, even more scrambly, even more wild, just hyper-aggressive. I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. This is probably going to be pretty annoying. I already found Blue Goku to be pretty annoying. But we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get. It might be... It might be just that I just gotta back up on round start now. Like, I just have to back up and hold the fact that I don't get to really play the round start game at all. Blue Vegeta. Reduce recovery on medium kick and crouching medium. Okay. Not bad. Better staggers. Always a good thing. Increased big bang attacks damage. Okay. Sped up the mid-air version startup and adjusted distance move during the mid-air version of the attack. For heavy. Ooh. That could be interesting. That could be fun. Reduce the amount of hit stop on super dash kick follow-up one. Not really huge changes. He has better staggers now. His big bang attack does a shit ton of damage, I bet. But, nothing too frightening, I think. Crouching medium attack. Increase the distance move during... Didn't this shit literally go, like, full screen already? Maybe they meant to speed it up, but... Or maybe they meant to make it easier to connect. I don't know. But this shit, as far as I know, already went full screen. Can I perform 2 times in one Z combo? Interesting. For the standing attack. Heavy attack and unique attack can now be performed on whiff. First crouching. Okay. And then sped up spheres of destruction. Not really bad changes, but I don't think that's going to change Beerus too much. Too much. Goku Black. Sped up his 2H. I bet Nary's kind of happy about that. Added invincibility to jumping attacks on the grounded versions of God Slicer, so you can't just medium him. You can't just super dash him anymore. That's interesting. That's gonna be a lot stronger for his neutral, because you can just go into that now. Projectile is now launched on block from a... okay, so always get a projectile. Okay. Changed where the character appears. That might be significant. And then reduce instant transmission. They might make it harder to react to when he actually does that. These could actually be some very good changes for Goku Black. These could be some very, very good changes, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking that maybe what this might mean is that you don't have to spend bar anymore to appear behind someone. Which would kind of mess with the mind game of, like, is he appearing right in my face, or is he gonna appear, like, kind of farther away and bait my 2H. But we'll see what we get. This could be a really good change. This could be a really bad change. I think this is a generally good change. Okay. Android 21. Reduce recovery on standing medium. Okay, whatever. I actually do really like this. The crouching, the 2H reduced recovery. I always was complaining about how ridiculous her 2H recovery was. It was always way too much. So I'm actually pretty happy that... this is the case now. This is kind of a whatever change. Everyone else is getting this. Her level 3 Oki might be gone, and that's a pretty substantial blow. We've had that for, like, what, 3 years now? It's been core to her character, but I guess they're tired of it being the main reason people want to run her. That is shitty to deal with, but... yeah, no, that's just shitty to deal with. That's just shitty. A lot of people are always saying that, like, you know, oh, well, if you get rid of it on, like, you know, Sweet Tooth, which is her DHC, then whatever, you can still use it for the air level 3. But I think they're just... they're just getting rid of it overall. They're just done with her having it. And, this is a pretty significant blow. This is a pretty significant blow to her. We'll see. We'll see. It could be that she just doesn't get, like, a really stupid mix. Like, she doesn't get, like, 2 50-50s. She just gets the 1 50-50. That could be the case. But we don't know. And all the hours that have been spent by 21 mains all around the world practicing that, that's gone. Goodbye. Such is life, but I'm still gonna play her. She still has really, really strong neutral, Really, really good, really, really good damage, so, and really big buttons, so, you know, it's not the end of the world. But that is a pretty significant blow to her. Bardock! They made his 5LL invincible to jumping attacks. So, for those of you that hated his 5LL, I hope you're ready to hate it more, and they've increased the distance move during it. Reduced the recovery on his unique attack, which is, I think, his upward angled Ki Blast, question mark? No, I'm sorry, that's just his regular Ki Blast. He doesn't have an upward angled one. Sped up Rebellion Spear so it's even faster, and sped up the mid-air version of Rebellion Spear for its medium. So both of those are a lot faster. Increased the block stun, the plus frames when the gut punch is fully charged, and increased hit stop on hit for his A assist, so that people use over his B assist more often. He's going to be a little mashier, he's going to be a little more aggressive, but not really much changed about Bardock. Reduced recovery on crouching light attack. They gave Zebrally a 0 on block button, which is insanity. Sped up the attack startup of jumping light attack, so you might have to relearn that re-jump a little bit. Standing medium attack. Finally, I think they made that an anti-reflect. They said adjusted movement speed. They probably made that a lot faster. Crouching medium has increased recovery, so you can't end on that safely anymore. That might be really interesting. And they increased the recovery on his 5S too. So they're making him even riskier with his stagger pressure because he can't do like 5 he can't go off his lights into his medium. He has to pretty much, if he wants like the good staggers, he's going to rely a lot more heavily on his lights. That's interesting. Increased distance move during the fully charged version. They're really going on these charged versions. Increased knockback on block. I think they mean they mean knockback. So maybe they'll make us that on the fully charged versions you're not super unsafe. And then gigantic strike. Increased distance, dude. That's probably the I think gigantic strike is his air grab. So interesting. Interesting stuff. They want people to play around with the charge a little more. They increased the recovery on that fucking 5M. Good. Sped up his 5S and sped up his 2S. I don't know why, but okay. And then increased the damage scaling on his kicks. Good. No, not on his kicks. This is increased the damage scaling on his 2 through 6S. So Vegetto hasn't really changed much. His stupid 5M is a lot weaker, but other than that, he's pretty much the same old character. My girl got a huge nerf, and he got only one of his many problematic things nerf. That's tragic. Zamasu, his 5L can be cancelled into standing light. Oh, he can 4LL now. Standing attack, increased distance move. Okay, so he has bigger 5H, whatever. Sped up 2H. Reduced recovery on wall of light. I think that's his orbs. Increased hit stop. Okay, no problem. And then Divine Order, sped up the grounded version startup. I think that's a super. I think that's a super Divine Order. I don't think he changed too much. The wall of light could be pretty significant. He might be able to work with even more assists now. Less greedy, but we'll see. Well, he probably will just be able to work with more assists. Base Goku, basically got the same changes as, Super Saiyan Goku. Reduced recovery on drop down shot. Meh. Reduced recovery on crouching medium. I don't know why they buffed his staggers. He wasn't exactly a bad pressure character. Reduce the damage on his 5S, and then energy cutter has reduced recovery, so that might be even better for mix if you let it happen. These two characters didn't really change that much. Cooler! Let's see Cooler. His standing light attack now moves forward just like Cell's. We'll see if that's a good or a bad thing. They made his medium attack faster. His 5M, that's good. Increased the distance moved during his 5H. Sped up his 5S. Super Dash can now be performed during the later half of the motion of Death Crasher. I think that's his dive kick. No. Death Crasher is his beam. This is a beam. I'm dumb. Now hits it. Oh, his Death Shaker now hits OTGs. Ooh, that's fun. His Earthquake OTGs. I like that. Android 17 crouching medium attack, reduced recovery on his 2M. Heavy. Oh my goodness, there's any type of fucking, okay, whatever. It changes his to his Rekka, so they're a little more, so they, any type of fucking can be performed behind the opponent and before attacking. Okay, so you can just do whatever, you can like cross up, and it's just a normal cross up. It's like he can cross up into an overhead, cross up into a low, stuff like that. So, interesting. Top gear medium, increased distance move, low gear. These are just changes to his Rekka. I'm actually not super familiar with his Rekkas, so could be good, could be bad. Probably good. Probably buff 17. Okay, so he can 4LL. They sped up his medium, his 5M, and his 2M, and his Grand Charge, and his Light Infinity Rush, and added invincibility to low attacks at the beginning of the attack. Shock Tornado, I think, is his counter. So, again, kind of rough. But overall, they buffed the counter character again. But it just means he's a little faster. He hasn't changed dramatically, with the exception of this. So, just gotta respect. It's the same old game. Just gotta respect him and be patient to beat Jiren. Videl! Reduce recovery on her heavy. Jumping down heavy, sped up the attack startup of her J2H. Justice combination has reduced recovery. I gotta see. Moonsault kick, I know this one. Maybe Justice combination is to help her staggers with her Rekka. Moonsault kick and special moves and super dash can be performed after the attack. Okay. So she doesn't have to vanish anymore. That's good. Increased distance move during the attack of heavy moonsault kick. Frankensteiner adjusted the spawn location of Great Saiyaman when in the corner, and then Rainbow Storm. I think that's her level 3. No, that's not. That's not. I gotta look this up. Okay, let's see. Moonsault kick. Yeah, that's what I expected that to be. The Frankensteiner. Yeah, the Frankensteiner is her grab. Adjusted the location of Great Saiyaman went in the corner. Okay. And then Rainbow Storm. That's her. Oh, that's her level 1. Okay, she basically made it like a super 2H. That's fun. That's fun. GT Goku. They increased the block stun on this again. They reverted that change. That's nice. And they reverted his 5LL. They're bringing some Season 2 GT back. Increased block stun for the grounded version, super dash for Kamehameha. These are some pretty great buffs for him. He needed some of these. The Super Ultra Spirit Bomb. Adjusted movement position, increased distance the projectile travels, and adjusted blowback on hit. I don't know how that's going to work out for them, but good for GT Gokus. That's good. Alright, Janemba. Increased the distance move during his 5L. Sped up a shit ton of things. This is probably a true string now. Heavy attack isn't a natural frame trap anymore. JH, adjusted distance move during the attack. Maybe they made it so that he doesn't actually do that weird bump thing that Hit does anymore. We'll see. And then Hellgate. I think that's his orb. Reduce recovery. Okay. Whatever. I don't think these changed too... This is, like, too dramatic, but, So, that's how it is sometimes. Gogeta Blue! Jumping light attack. Increase active frames. Super dash cannot be performed after his beam. But when one of his allies is down, he can now perform God Punisher instead of his... Okay. So now he can go to his level 2 if you hold down the assist. Pretty decent changes. But, again, Gogeta's gonna just be Gogeta. He'll just be the same old character. Not too big of a deal. DBS Broly, they buffed his damage again. Well, I shouldn't say that. So, his Gigantic Roar would give a 5% buff. They probably made that a little more dramatic, especially because when Lab Coat 21 came out, the damage that her debuff would inflict, they made it so that a lot of people complain about how DBS Broly needs to spend 3 bars for a 5% buff, and she spends 1 bar to get a 21% lacking, or so, you know. So I don't know how much this is going to be. Maybe it's by another 5%, so it's like 10% now. I don't know. More incentive for Broly to get the level 3. And now that Majin 21's level 3 is weaker, I might be level 3ing with Broly a lot more. Which will be interesting because, I mean, he's my point character, but we'll see. We'll see what we got here. I mean, it's just more damage. It's nothing more. It's not, like, super significant. And when we have his higher damage level 3 now. If I hit the assist button for the downed character, I get Gigantic Impact, which can go into level 2. So I can still get a little mini level 3, which is very, very, very good. Very good. But again, it's just a damage buff. Gigantic Fury, which is his... Wait. I thought Gigantic Fury is 2 and 4H, I thought. No, isn't that his grab? Did they give him a faster grab? His EX grab's gonna be faster now? Oh my goodness. Yeah, it is. So his EX grab is gonna be faster. That'll be interesting. Unless they only mean... Well, no, they said... Startup faster when the opponent is on the ground, and startup is now faster when the opponent is on the ground and in hit stun. I wonder if it's 20 frames now. That could be dangerous. That could be really, really dangerous for him. Increased distance move during headbutt and cancel... And can now be cancelled into after standing unique attack or a crouching unique attack into Z combo. Interesting. Didn't really do much for the frame data, which is what I wanted, but we'll see. And then sped up his 5S. Overall, could be significant. Could be very significant. Again, they buffed his damage. Like, they buffed his damage. Whoop-de-doo. But that Gigantic Fury grab change, I'm a little interested about that one. I'm a little interested in this, because if this is like 20 frames now, or 21 frames, I'm about to be scooping a lot of people. I'm about to be scooping the shit out of people. So, could be very, very significant. Could be very, very good. Kefla. Her 2H distance now moves with a change of the forward input. Interesting. Super Cannonball, okay, whatever, reduce recovery on her other Super Cannonball, and time to test this power out. I think time to test this power out is her warp, so that'll make her neutral a little stronger. UI Goku, reduce recovery except on hit. Shining Soul. Where is he? Here he is. Okay, that's his 6S. Oopsie, sorry. That's a 6S. Reduce recovery in general, okay. Autonomous Fist, medium heavy. Increase the distance moved during the attack. I think Autonomous Fist is his, Oh no, this is his Autonomous Fist. Okay. God, fixing area that caused a bug in the damage dealt by the aerial version of the certain instance of Godly Strike. Okay, he hasn't changed too much. Ultra Instinct Goku hasn't changed too much. The things that were strong about him weren't buffed, and the things that weren't, like, notable are a little better now. So, you know, kind of a whatever change. Master Roshi, sped up 5H, sped up J2H. Increase the untechable time. When there's no oh, no, they just buffed it when it's not a smash. Okay. Masterful Leap cannot be performed during the later half of Kamehameha, and they made it have more hit stun. Increase the time before the wall bounce. Wise Warrior. Reduce recovery on whiff. I gotta see this. Master Roshi has so many techniques. Do not whiff this. Well, now you're gonna be able to whiff this. Added invincibility to jumping attacks on his, so you gotta hit him with a mid, because his jumping splits, his leg splits are already low crushes. And now they're invincible to jumping attacks, so you have to hit him with a fucking mid. A lot of Roshis are gonna be using the shit out of this move. And then reverse Kamehameha. Special cannot be performed when the projectile lands. Adjusted wall bounce when the projectile lands when moving directly to the side. Okay. Interesting. So they made it gave it better combo ability. I don't think this stuff is too bad now. I don't know if this is what Roshi needs. Roshi might need a lot. I think this will be a pretty helpful thing, because this is his lariat. So that could be helpful. But we'll see some of the other stuff. We'll see if that matters too much. Super Baby 2, reduced 5H. The blast of the second hit will no longer hit for this. The blast will no longer hit our crouching point. Oh. For 5S, this blast of the second hit. So this what this basically does, this seems like a nerf, but what this actually does is this basically guarantees that Baby will get at least one Ki Blast guaranteed to come back, and he doesn't have to do success. So that's more Ki Blast that he can play around with first mix. That's good. That's good. Increase hit stop on hit for returning blast, increase untechable time for returning blast. Alright. Projectile trajectory cannot be changed with an up input for his jumping unique attack. Oh, he could probably aim it forward. Like, he could do down, or he could do forward. Okay. Or, I don't know, it might be like Broly, where it's like, instead of like down that way, it's down another way. You probably can't see my mouse too well. Revenge drivers. Adjusted blowback during the camera effect. I don't know what that means. Well, I know what that means, but I don't know what that's going to mean in-game quite yet, until tomorrow. Revenge Final Flash. Should can be performed during the later half of the motion. That's his beam, okay. Parasite takeover, reduce recovery for the grounded version. Alright, so you can call assists a little easier. The blast of the second hit will no longer hit our crouching opponent. Increase hit stop on hit for the returning blast. Okay. Just same changes to his unique attack as his A assist. Make his A assist a little stronger. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Increase knockback on his heavy. You can mess around with his heavy, with his 2H now. And Meteor Strike. I think that's his plus on block kick. I sped up the grounded version started. Okay. Mostly the same, a little buffed. A little more buffed. I don't know why, but sure. But I mean, not that big of a deal. Lab Coat 21. Everything has increased damage scaling. Like, everything has increased damage scaling. Her Savory Slicer's probably not plus on block anymore. I kind of expected this, because it's Ki immune. It still hits behind it, which I like. I like that it still hits behind it. But the reduced damage reduced damage and increased damage scaling on the Mignardi's heal. For what? That might make her stomp loop in the corner a lot weaker. Like, a lot weaker, we'll see. Her beam is normalized now, it's not ridiculously fast anymore. The meme, the fucking meme level 1 where she could combo after it is gone. Which, whatever, this is a whatever change. They only increased the damage scaling on the heavies of her Savory Slicer. Her medium slicers are still pretty strong. But this overall, her OTG is changed to reduce combo damage. I mean, that's fine. ultimately, that's fine, I think, because, golly, did those moves... Did she do a shit ton of damage? It's probably just to bring it more in line with the normal stuff. At least the heal combo will still work. I wouldn't be shocked if instead of doing like 5.7k now, maybe it's like 5.1k, 5.2k. We'll see. And we'll see how much damage these do. But, you know, I'm okay with this. I'm largely okay with this. Her damage was through the roof. She still has the best block string pressure in the game. Let's talk about the debuff. Let's talk about this move. Reduce the move's damage, so it's not a meme 21-21 damage anymore. Probably increase the damage scaling so you can't, like, meter dump to murder people anymore with it. That's good. Will no longer grab the opponent while they're in hit stun. So she can still use it. She can still use it in pressure. Here is the thing that I'm looking at with this. And they delayed the start of invincibility, so it's still invincible to a certain extent. But here's the way I'm looking at this. They wanted this to be a pressure tool. So she still is going to be able to use this absurd grab as a pressure thing. But I think all of this increased damage stuff, especially with the heal, she will, what am I saying here? She will probably need to hit her debuff to have really, really strong damage again off her specials. So, we'll see about that. Key gauge increase scaling now applies to the move. That's good. That's important. We needed that. You can still use this for Oki. Well, no, you can't. No, you can't. You can't because it doesn't hit stun anymore. Never mind. So overall, pretty strong nerfs to the debuff. It's still going to be annoying. She's still going to be a character that gets a lot of hate. The damage scaling, I don't hate that so much. The damage scaling on this might be might be really significant. I don't know if like the 214H, 22H is going to be worth doing anymore because of these changes. We'll see. Overall, pretty tremendous blow to my team. But I don't think my team is dead. Like I don't think my characters are so nerfed that I can't play my team anymore. I gotta really be aware. Just really be aware. And the damage nerfs suck. I already missed my damage queen, but such is life. That's how it goes. We will see how things are going when the patch drops. The patch drops June 29th UTC. So I'll probably get it at some point today or something like that, and we'll see then. So I'll catch you guys later, and hope you all stay safe, stay good people. Have a wonderful night.